Imagine this. It's the 2025 NBA All-Star Weekend. The crowd is excited, the lights dim, and the spotlight shines on center court. But it's not LeBron or Giannis stepping out, it's Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's brightest star, poised to face the Splash Brothers in a three-point shootout to remember. Now, you may be wondering how we got here. It all began with Clark's amazing offseason. She's been working tirelessly to develop her craft under Coach Keith Porter. Clark has pushed herself to the limit, from incredible rim finishes to long-range bombs, and she is now ready to show the world what she is capable of. As you can see, Coach Keith Porter is there. He's prepared to take Caitlin Clark's game to the next level. In this video, they are working on a variety of finishes, including rim finishes and possibly some new finishes that we haven't seen from her in the 2024 season. Are you prepared to witness basketball history unfold? You might be wondering, yes, Clark is good, but can she really compete with NBA stars? So let me tell you about her insane offseason. Clark has been working with Coach Keith Porter, and this isn't your typical practice session. We're talking about full-speed drills that will make your head spin. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark isn't just focusing on her skills. She's rapidly extending her arsenal. Coach KP informed me that one of his aims for Clark was to extend her bag so that she could handle whatever defense was thrown at her. And what I like about this is that they're working on taking it to the rim while sometimes pulling up short, sometimes a little behind the block, pretending she's going all the way to the hoop, then spinning around for a fadeaway, Kobe style. Picture this. Clark is at the rim, but instead of attempting a layup, she pulls up for a Kobe-style fadeaway. Yes, that is new. And don't get me started on her three-point shooting. She's not simply shooting, she's producing shots. Off screens, dribbling, you name it. Coach Porter has a clear purpose in mind. He wants Clark to have so many offensive options that opponents won't know what hit them. Of course, they're working on Clark's famous three-point shots. Coming off screens, working on the handoff, taking one or two dribbles into the shot. You might be wondering if this is actually making a difference. Let me explain. Clark isn't just going through the motions. She is training at game speed, pushing herself to the edge. Why? Because she understands she is practicing not only for the WNBA, but also to compete against the world's finest shooters. But here's the kicker. Coach Porter isn't only concerned about improving Clark's shooting. He wants her to be unstoppable. Can you believe he's saying stuff like, if she wants to score 20 or 30 points in a game, opponents will find it difficult to stop her? That isn't simply confidence. It's a direct challenge to every defender out there. As Coach KP stated, expanding her bag so that no matter what teams throw at her, she can handle it. He wants Clark to be so confident in her skills that it doesn't matter what the defense does. He wants rival teams to believe that they simply have to accept Caitlin Clark's buckets. That if she drops 20 or 30 in a game, they must deal with it. Now, if that wasn't thrilling enough, consider the NBA's desperate attempt to rescue All-Star Weekend. They perceive Clark as more than just another player. She's their secret weapon in reviving a dying tradition. And with the way Clark has been preparing, she could be the spark they need. Remember when the NBA All-Star Game was a must-see game? Yes, those days are long gone. Last year's game? A complete calamity. The final score appeared to indicate that someone had broken the scoreboard. It wasn't just horrible, it was embarrassingly terrible. Even NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is anxious for solutions. Can you believe it? The league's executive is tacitly acknowledging that their biggest event is withering right in front of our eyes. And he is not wrong. Ratings from last year's game? Rock bottom. We're talking about a significant decline. Silver probably couldn't sleep for several weeks. And it's not just the fans who are fired up. Athletes are beginning to speak out. They're expressing what we've all been thinking. The All-Star Game has become little more than a glorified pickup game. No defense. There's no effort. Just a bunch of superstars jogging up and down the court like they were at the local YMCA. And it's not only the main event that has lost its luster. Remember how the dunk contest used to be must-see TV? Now, it's almost as thrilling as watching paint dry. So now Adam Silver is attempting the most daring Hail Mary pass in NBA history. His secret weapon? a gunfight for the ages. Picture this: Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu, the WNBA's most lethal shooters, face up against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Splash Brothers take on the court's new queens. Can you imagine? Here's the greatest part. Clark is ready. Clark isn't simply prepping. She's worked hard for this moment. On her birthday, she effortlessly made 50 out of 54 three-pointers. That's not just good, it's Steph Curry's nervous good. And the NBA won't stop there. They're considering bringing back the NBA WNBA shootout format, but this time with Clark and Klay Thompson. It's like they're putting together the Avengers of basketball shooting. It is not simply about putting up a show. The NBA is making a desperate play to stay relevant. Let's be honest, this decision isn't merely to save All-Star Weekend. Clark is altering the game. She's attracting fans who have never cared about basketball before. And now, with this potential shootout, she's bridging the WNBA and NBA divide in a way we've never seen before. So mark your calendars. Get ready. Basketball will never be the same after this. Clark isn't just attending All-Star Weekend. She's about to show the world what women's basketball is truly capable of. Are you prepared for the revolution? Caitlin Clark's rise is more than just a testimonial to her talent. It marks a watershed moment for women in sports. Imagine a little girl watching Clark compete against the greatest in the NBA and thinking, if she can do it, I can too. This is more than just smashing records. It's about cracking the glass ceiling that has kept women's sports hidden for far too long. Clark's involvement in the All-Star Weekend acts as a beacon of empowerment, spreading waves across the sports world and inspiring the next generation of female athletes. Clark's rise to the NBA stage is more than just a victory for American basketball. It is a global phenomenon. Her tale is making headlines across Europe, Asia, and beyond, demonstrating that basketball is truly a universal language. Fans from all over the world are tuning in, ready to see this historic crossover. Social media platforms are humming with hashtags like #ClarkVsSplash and #WNBAtonBA, resulting in a digital storm that is attracting new fans to the sport. In China, where basketball is extremely popular, Clark's name has become synonymous with inspiration. Young athletes in Beijing and Shanghai are emulating her moves, and local coaches are using her as a model of determination and skill. Clark's crossover popularity not only spans leagues, but also unites cultures via their love of the game. The narrative surrounding women's sports is shifting, and Clark is at the forefront of it. Traditional sports media, which has long been chastised for failing to cover women's leagues, is scrambling to catch up. Primetime portions are being given to Clark's journey, and major networks are increasing their coverage of the WNBA, recognizing her irresistible allure. Sports pundits are now debating not whether women can compete with men, but rather how the inclusion of women like Clark may benefit the entire sport. Clark is not only establishing her personal medal by treading the court with Curry and Thompson, she is also demonstrating that the divide between men's and women's sports may be more about perception than actual capability. As All-Star Weekend approaches, one thing becomes clear: Caitlin Clark's legacy is already being written. Fans are looking forward to the matchup, with some even suggesting that her performance could contribute to long-term changes in how women are absorbed into traditionally male-dominated sports. Imagine a world in which co-ed competitions are the norm, and the best athletes, regardless of gender, compete simply because they are the best. Clark's story foreshadows a future in which genius and hard work open previously closed doors. The All-Star Weekend will be more than simply a three-point shootout. It will be a statement about the changing environment of sports, which Clark is helping to reshape with each shot she takes. With All-Star Weekend approaching, the excitement is obvious. Will Caitlin Clark outshoot the Splash Brothers? Will her performance pave the way for a new era in sports? One thing is certain: Clark's rise from WNBA standout to NBA All-Star contender is more than just a personal success. It's a revolution that defies expectations, shatters barriers, and inspires countless others to strive for greatness. Caitlin Clark stands ready, not just to take the next shot, but to make history.